welcome to Pouse around the house. Now today I got a slightly different video for you. It's only a short one, and I'm doing a bit of lockdown DIY. And to give you a quick summary of the problem, my main stairs from downstairs to the first floor, they look like they slightly shifted. Now obviously, as most of you know, I've been doing a loft conversion, so your first thought is panic, the walls moving, is something going wrong? But on closer inspection, I could see that it was actually the stairs had dropped ever so slightly. So I thought I'd rip the floor up and let's have a good look underneath. So what we got here are the joists on the landing, which are obviously spread out evenly. When you get to the top stair, which is actually by here, this is the landing, this is the top step, then you've got this separate joist, and this runs all the way along the landing with the balustrade and whatnot. And what happened is this particular one here, on closer inspection, I got underneath and I found that this one has been packed up. You know, I'm going back, I don't know, 60, 70 years ago maybe, possibly longer. It's a Victorian house, so this was built in about 1890. And it's an old piece of timber that had been packing it up, and when I got underneath you could feel it was loose. It had come out, and I've actually dropped it down the back through a bit of void down the back there, so I can't get that back out. But I've done a quick simple fix. I say it's simple, it's taken me about an hour now because there's just no room to get your hand in. So once it's in, you've got to use a hammer now to wedge in basically a piece of plywood. I used a piece of inch thick plywood like this. I cut a little square out and I whacked it in basically as a packer. So let's take a closer look at that. So just to give you some perspective, there's the stairs coming down from my loft. We've got the new balustrade and spindles there, and you can see we've got these two joists that come out, and then we've got the end bedroom on the end of the house there. So as we look down into this joist here, you can see it's sat nicely on the old solid brickwork across there. That is a solid wall right the way down to the bottom of the house on the ground floor. And then you've got the same over there, you've got that brickwork in there. Now I'm going to get a torch just to make this a bit more clear for you. Right, so I'm just using the torch from my phone there, so apologies if this isn't that clear. I'm going to try and show you what I've done. Now down there, that's the brick wall coming up from down below, and all these joists are sat on that. So this is the joist on the left, this is the one on the right, which is holding the top of the stairs. You can't quite see it there, but basically just down there, I've wedged in a piece of that plywood, I've jammed it underneath, and it's lifted this back up. And if we come back out and just look, this is what I noticed on the top of the stairs. You can see this slight crack there, and there was obviously a bit of caulking there years ago when I did the house up, and that's sort of separated. And you can see it has dropped about a mil, but I've just I've jacked that back up because it was down a bit further and wedged that ply underneath. I'm struggling to get it right back up to the top at the moment. So yeah, so basically that's solid now. It won't go any further, but I just thought that might be interesting for you, just to see something a bit different. So like with a lot of these jobs, often finding the problem is quite simple and the solution is often quite crude. But to be honest, instead of worrying about it, you just got to get stuck in, get the floorboards up, get in there and have a good look. And once you get in there, you can see exactly what's wrong. And in this situation, like I said, working out what was wrong was pretty quick, to be honest with you. The problem I got here is you can't move these joists out the way, and this one has only got about a 2-inch gap. Now I'm lucky I got small hands so I can get inside there, but getting your hammer and your tools is a real pain. Now in this situation, all I did was I managed to get my pry bar in, so my roughneck pry bar. I just put this on the brick wall below, and I just levered up the best I could this joist as high as I could, and in the meantime I had wedged that piece of plywood underneath, which was a bit tight. I got my other hand down behind it next to it, and then once I levered this up I was able to whack it in just a little bit, just enough. And then once it was in, I let go of the pry bar, I put this back around the other side, and I just levered this in. I used a mallet and just whacked it in, a bit of brute force. I say brute force, I mean I'm not very big, but you know. And yeah, that's wedged under there. So when I've let go now, that's nice and tight, it's not moving, and hopefully that solved the problem. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, and obviously if it drops again, we'll have to go in and look at packing it a bit further maybe, but I'm pretty confident that's going to do the job. And you can see now where I've just put this top step back in place, it's wedged this back in. It was starting to bow out a little bit that way, so we've closed that gap up a fair bit now. One other thing I've done is taken this opportunity while the floorboards are up to stop a few old clanky pipes. So if you have a look just by here, there's two copper pipes run side by side and they were touching, and you've got another one there just on a bit of timber, and these two there. And whoever did the plumbing many years ago, and I can assure you this wasn't me that did that, obviously touched the pipes. But this is something that at night in the winter, generally when the first sort of week that you put the heating on, you notice that where you get the expansion and contraction, these really, they click almost, tick, 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 like that, and they can wake you up and get right on your nerves. So while I'm under the floorboards, why not take the chance to fix another problem? Now, I know this video is a bit short and a bit rough and ready, but I was literally halfway through this job. I never intended filming it, and I suddenly thought, you know what, this might be an interesting one to show you lot. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell symbol for regular notifications. And if you're interested in a few basic tools like this that I've been using, I'll put a link to those in the description section below, because these sort of things are extremely useful for all these sort of nice, simple projects. So stay safe. I've been Pouse around the house. Ta-ta, farewell.